Hey guys, in this video, I want to talk about how what loneliness means to me personally. I center my channel around the concept of loneliness, and so obviously this emotion or this feeling is quite central to the person I am. It's not, a passing fade or a passing fad. It's not that or something I think offhand every week or every day. Loneliness is something that I deal with on an hourly basis. It is something that I constantly think about during my day. You know, Obviously, I don't think about it when I'm around people. And thankfully, I'm back in school at community college, and I'm interacting with people at least 1 to 2 hours a day so that I don't know, it's just something to do. It doesn't really mean anything, but just keeps the mind off everything. But you could think outside of that, I'm basically feeling loneliness 16 hours a day, for the most part. When I wake up and it takes me like 2 or 3 hours to wake up and I'm just laying in bed, not knowing what to think or feeling down and feeling emotional about my life. From there, go to class and then class is over and then just figure out what to do. I honestly don't know how I spend so much of my time each day. It just goes by, and I'm glad I'm doing these now to at least get my thoughts out, to at least organize what has been happening. So, yeah, to me, loneliness is not just a topic. It's not just a abstract concept. Loneliness is me. I am loneliness. That has become essentially the central part of me, right? That is the emotion that I feel most every single day, for multiple hours. And I just want to sort of talk about it because when it becomes such a important central part of you, you sort of treat it differently than how other people see it, you know? Other people see it as sort of like something to be solved, something that, you can be more mindful about, be more aware about, and just sort of understand it and try to not feel as bad about it. But I felt loneliness to this severe extent for almost 2 years now. There was something that happened 2 years ago that I don't think is uh, necessary to discuss in the context of this video, but it's been a different experience. It's it's another level of loneliness that is very difficult to explain for me. Um, but all I can say is that this loneliness that people talk about, they treat it as if it's something subjective, like they can change it, or something that is just a perception, whether you're lonely or whether you're in solitude, like whether you enjoy it or not. Like it's just something that you can just change your mind about. But in my experience of loneliness, honestly, loneliness is not a perception. It is not a thought. It is not a just a view of things. Loneliness is a very objective thing. I can tell when I'm simply just not entertaining enough or not fast enough, not quick enough to just be above average in terms of, socialization, in terms of interaction. And I've lived for 27 years. I understand what is funny, what is not, what is interesting, what is not. I have taste in myself, and I understand other people's tastes are probably very similar to mine. As you can see from my speaking, I have a pretty good sense of reasoning and logic, and I think most people would have too. And because of that, there are things that you just have to be able to do. in order to just feel at home with people or feel comfortable and feel you're enjoying yourself. And those things are not subjective. They're very objective. They are a key component in how you interact with people. And that is namely being able to express yourself clearly and to be able to express interesting things to yourself that you find interesting to talk about. And that's something that I basically have really lost how to do in the past 2 years due to really severe neuroticism, really severe self-consciousness that is not anything to be proud of. I think a lot of people are proud of how aware they are and how much they notice, but it can get to an extent where it essentially stops you from thinking. I don't want to talk too much about it because I don't want to remind people what it's like, but yeah, it can get pretty bad. But that's not the main point of this video. The main point is that actually I have to think about it for a bit. The main point that I want to make is that this loneliness feeling that I feel is it's become part of me. And the reason is that it's hard for me to get to the level that I feel I need to in order to truly enjoy being around people. And that's something that cannot be easily solved by just changing your perception. That's something that needs to be trained and is a hard skill in terms of self-expression, in terms of being quick, in terms of just being loose and just getting into the rhythm of things. It takes a long time. And, it's really hard to train for that nowadays. Obviously, I want to have a girlfriend and fall in love again and enjoy being with her, but it can be really difficult when I'm not even enjoying myself, speaking. And it can be even harder when you're not having even the opportunities to try. And so I'm doing this as a way to express myself, and I feel I am improving, but you can now see how this issue of loneliness is not an issue of your own self-perception or your own attitude towards things. Loneliness is just like a sport, it's just like playing basketball. Some people just suck at playing basketball, There's no ifs, ands, and buts around it. If they shoot and they're airballing, they have no touch, like there's no, you can't tell them that they're good. Like you're just be like maliciously, not ignorant, but like you're just lying to them at that point. So it's not a good thing to do. And obviously the person who's airballing can tell like like they're not helping the team out. Like they just stand in the corner. They know playing defense and standing in the corner is the best thing they can do. So just like social interaction in basketball, there are objective measures on how you contribute to a team. You can't just stand there and be a traffic cone. You have to do stuff. And it just takes time and it takes a lot of effort and sometimes it takes talent to improve at those things, right? I'm not saying that because you suck, you can't work on it or anything. But I'm just saying, let's not pretend that loneliness is something that is completely random and that every person, or sorry, not loneliness, but charisma and just essential social enjoyment is not something subjective. It is something that has very established standards, just like any sport. And when you think about it from that way, it is much easier to understand the struggle of loneliness when you just suck and you're just trying to find ways to improve. But, oftentimes it's just not as easy as it looks. You can't just become quick. You can't just become funnier. You can't just become more expressive and more eloquent overnight. These things take time, and especially, it's different when you're doing it by yourself like this versus when you're out in the real world with someone that you like and you have thousands of thoughts racing in your mind and you're afraid that you're going to be slow or it's your expression, also your tone of voice. You're trying to think in your eye contact, like it becomes a competition, a game of neuroticism, but you can see how someone can struggle with this. And that is essentially sort of the feeling that, or the emotion I want to convey with what I'm saying in this channel and what I want to put out. It's that this is this is a tangible challenge that I'm dealing with, that many other people are dealing with. And it's measurable. And when we measure ourselves, we're not up to par. And we're just trying to find ways to continue to just hope that we can improve, that we can get to the point where we're laughing and we're smiling and we're really enjoying our time around people. We're trying to get to that point. But sometimes you just don't know how, and you're just going off a feeling. And that can be pretty difficult. You know, just like basketball, it looks so easy to shoot the ball, but when you actually do it, you're like, I don't know how it's so hard to get a ball from your hand into the hoop. There are professionals that are getting paid millions who can't even shoot like 30% from behind the arc. And it's the same thing with socialization. So I'm not going to get into how to improve or what I'm trying to do. I think everyone's trying their best. I'm not saying that people aren't trying at all. It's just difficult out there. And when you realize you're just not skillful enough, that constantly weighs on you. So I'm just saying we need practice. We don't need tryouts. I already know I'm on the B team, but we just need constant reps. We just need to get better and just be there for each other. And so that's what loneliness is to me. We on the same team, we got to work together, but that's the irony of it, isn't it?